One more time, Don Cheadle, on a Thursday night as we get Week 16 started. Tennessee and Jacksonville about to kick. And we go down to the sidelines. Tracy Wolfson standing by with Coach Ken Whisenhunt.
Thanks a lot, Jim. And Coach, your team would like nothing more than a win. What do you hope to see from them tonight?
Well, short week, on the road. We took the ball when we won the toss because we want to start fast. So we think that's what we have to do in order to get going.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Jim?
All right, Tracy, that is not something they've been able to do, get that fast start. In fact, they have not had an opening drive touchdown in 17 consecutive games. That's the longest streak in the league. It's a clear night. It's 50. It's been a pretty day here in Jacksonville. And we're getting set to kick it here. 57 at kickoff. And Leon Washington returns home. He grew up just a couple of miles from the stadium. Got 8 career runbacks for touchdowns. He steps up to the 4. And boy, the Jaguars were on him in a hurry and deck him at the 16-yard line. Reynolds, the tackler. Here comes Charlie Whitehurst starting at quarterback. 9th-year man out of Clemson, longtime backup in this league to Phillip Rivers out in San Diego. Also a couple years out in Seattle. He served as the number 2. And when he's played this year, Phil, he's actually shown why he's been in the league a long time. Well prepared, has played very effectively.
Yeah, he moves around well enough, has a good throwing arm, and you said it right. When he comes in, hey, look, he's a veteran quarterback. He knows this offense, and he makes plays.
He was the quarterback when they met the first time and led the Titans to a victory, and he's got a quick hookup here with Nate Washington near a first down.
Well, you talk about Charlie Whitehurst. He thinks his team, you know, listen, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they like to crowd the line of scrimmage. So that's good for a veteran quarterback because he knows he can go down the field and make plays. And I said it all about Jacksonville's defense. Think of Seattle. Of course, not quite that talent. They get up there, challenge you, and they dare you to try to run the football against all the people they put at the line of scrimmage.
Inside of a yard for a first down. They do have Kendall Wright active tonight. He's been injured with a hand, but he's not on them for this snap. And movement on the right side.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, Ken Whisenhunt not able to get the continuity he hoped to in his first year at Tennessee because of all the injuries. But he was, of course, the coach out in Arizona for 6 years, including 1 year when he won the NFC Championship. Took his team to the Super Bowl and lost in the last minute to Pittsburgh. And there's Gus Bradley, second season after coming over from Seattle, where he was Pete Carroll's defensive coordinator. 2nd and 6. And Sankey, the rookie running back out of Washington, picks up about 3. So we've got Whitehurst starting at quarterback because first of an injury to their rookie quarterback, Zach Mettenberger. A right shoulder injury suffered in week 14. And then Jake Locker had waited months to get back onto the field after an injury, and he lasted less than two quarters before he was hurt again.
Well, if you look at one thing for this team that's disappointing, it's been the offensive line. Severe injuries have hampered it. Their play has hurt the quarterbacks. Evident, Charlie Whitehurst and 3 starters.
3rd and 3, and they've got the first down with Leon Washington. Quick burst out to about the 34. So Locker went down on injured reserve with a shoulder injury. Here's Whitehurst, and this time the line got it done.
Yeah, they did. Chance Warmack, a first-round draft pick at right guard, and then Chris Spencer, another guy they're happy about, playing center. A backup has come in and done well, and of course running the football. Anytime they run the football and have success on offense for Tennessee, they're excited about that. And the big thing, can they stay on the field long enough tonight to help their defense out a little bit?
Here's Whitehurst from the pocket. Beautiful pass to Walker. How about that throw?
Yeah, beautiful pass is right, and it was a good play. Watch McCray, the corner in the back of the screen. He's reading the quarterback, but waits just a little too long to come off and make that play. And Delaney Walker can get down the field and make plays.
Picks up 20.
We saw him do it with San Francisco. You kind of forget about him since he left there. But he is the big weapon that they hope to use here a lot tonight.
Walker just broke Frank Wycheck's team record for most yards by a tight end receiving in a season at Tennessee. That is franchise mark. Sankey. He's got Jacksonville defenders on him quickly. Picks up only a yard. So Walker, you mentioned the former 49er. We saw him in the Super Bowl down in New Orleans a couple years ago. Then he signed with Tennessee, and his ranks are pretty high up there in league standings.
Look, for an offensive line that's beat up, wide receivers that have gone down that have hurt his production because now they can concentrate on him. Jim, I think he's one of the best tight ends in the NFL. He can do everything. Run with speed, block with power, can do whatever you ask him to do, just like he did in San Francisco.
So I mentioned Kendall Wright. He's in a slot to the right after missing some action. Second down and 9, and that's some catch by Walker. He juggled it and then held on down to about the 38, brought down by Thomas.
Well, the one thing I see already as I watch this game is that you got a veteran quarterback, and Whitehurst can make decisions fast, get rid of the football, getting rid of it, and really protecting that offensive line and trying to stay away from those negative plays, sacks, which young quarterbacks have a tendency to take.
Third down coming up. Marks almost got a hand on it. Somehow that got through that tiny opening. 3rd and 4. Here's Whitehurst. Stepping up and finding Wright open in the middle of the field. Kendall Wright with the catch. Again, he's been nursing a hand injury. He was questionable coming in. Picks up 14.
Coming from the top of the screen. Good job of stepping up. When everybody comes to the first crosser, that's what they did that time. Everybody reacted to Chase Kaufman. The tight end, look at the open hole behind. And the movement in the pocket, very calm. Whitehurst really off to a terrific start here tonight.
We've got Matthew Mulligan at tight end on the right side. 1st and 10. That picks up about 3 or 4 for Sankey. You know, Whitehurst through the years, he left Clemson with 46 school records upon graduation. And these are his travels. Now tonight he's trying to carry the Titans on his back.
And you got to talk about that last picture. I mean, look at that hair. He's got enough hair for 6 of us.
Yeah.
But, you know, he left San Diego. What did he tell us? Phillip Rivers was never going to get hurt and miss playing time. So he wanted a chance to play, and he's showing everybody in the league that he can do it.
2nd and 6. Play action and rolling out. And Whitehurst, boy, he looks good. They're going to have a 1st and goal to go as Kaufman has the catch at about the 7. That's right. Whitehurst just wanted the chance to play after so many years being a backup.
Jim, what he does here, they want to throw it in the flat to Delaney Walker, not there. On the move, gets over the top, makes a terrific throw right on target. And of course, we haven't talked about it. I was a little surprised. Charlie Whitehurst has come out in tonight's game with gloves on. And he made the right decision because that football is coming out of his hand very clean.
Yeah, like you like to talk about how much a quarterback spins it. That's what he's doing. And again, they have not had an opening drive touchdown in over a year. And they're 7 yards away from achieving that as Washington gets the handle. That's an impressive hit on that occasion by Cyprian. Last time the Titans came out and got that fast start, here it is at Denver. We were there. Went long down the field. Ryan Fitzpatrick to Justin Hunter. Got him down to the 1. Sean Green then scored.
You saw that last play. Jonathan Cyprian, the safety, aggressive. Both the safeties. Josh Evans also not afraid. They get up inside quick to make tackles.
2nd and goal from about the 5. And Whitehurst in trouble and sacked back at the 8-yard line. Avery Jones gets credit for that one. Yeah, getting some time tonight with Roy Miller III inactive.
Yeah, that's right. 895 Avery Jones. They just keep pushing the pocket, and the reason why they get the sack, it's the coverage down the field. He's looking over the middle. Watch the 2 receivers come across. The coverage is excellent. When you see that, you got to go outside to the wide receivers. Not quick enough with the decision that time.
Whitehurst talked to us this week about, hey, we've got nothing to lose. We're going to throw it around. Our guys are loose. We're ready to play. We think we're going to win. Third and goal, and at the 2 and into the end zone for the touchdown is Leon Washington, coming home and finding the end zone for the score.
Well, what a good job. Nobody really opened down the field. The defense is trying to read the eyes of the quarterback, and they're not fast enough. He's looking left, and then when he turns, he gets rid of it so quick, it gave Leon Washington just enough time to get in the end zone, and he broke the plane.
Yes, he did, and I guarantee he's going to keep that football because he went to high school about 4.5 miles from here, but his home was just a few blocks from the stadium, and he actually worked at the stadium as a young kid, selling sodas, going up and down the stands, and now he comes back here tonight. Yeah, you're going to save this one.
That's special, making a little more money, and I saw him up with the Jets many times and make many dynamic plays, and looks just as quick now down in Tennessee.
Extra point, Ryan Suckup is good. A quick 7 for Tennessee. Well, actually not that quick. Took over half the quarter. Whitehurst was 6 out of 6 on that drive to 5 different targets. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. And by Zales. Give her dazzling gifts from Zales. The Diamond Store. Let love shine. As you're looking at Khan, one of the many Jaguars at the Jacksonville Zoo. And this feline shares the same birthday as the Jaguars team owner, Mr. Khan, July the 18th. How about Leon Washington? He actually had a couple of nice carries as well as the catch for the touchdown.
How about Charlie Whitehurst?
Oh,
how
6
he
for 6.
started. I think he showed the Tennessee Titans and other people there's still a lot left in this guy, and he was excited about playing here tonight, and it showed in that opening drive.
And the kick from Suckup to Todman results in a touchback. By the way, the touchdown ball, Leon took it over to give it to his family. Okay, now it's Blake Bortles' turn, the rookie from Central Florida, making his 12th start. He took over the position from Chad Henne week 4. Led them to a couple of victories over Cleveland and the New York Giants a few weeks back. Coming from way behind to beat the Giants. First snap of the game goes ground with Gerhardt for about 3.
Well, Jim, let's go back, look at the touchdown. Next gen, what did the routes look like? Look how they spread the field, and a good job by Whitehurst finding Washington in the middle. Everybody looking to the inside receivers. Nobody paid attention to the running back.
No huddle here for the Jaguars.
Hey, alpha, 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 down, 380. 380, shot.
The swing pass over to Gerhardt, the 2009 runner-up for the Heisman, to Mark Ingram out of Stanford, picks up a first down. Now Blake Bortles' foot sprain suffered in the game against Baltimore on Sunday on the road. They were very competitive against the Ravens. He was in a boot Sunday night, all day Monday. A lot of people thought he may not play. We were here, well, as of 4 o'clock tonight. We saw him warm up hours ago. We thought he may not be able to go.
Yeah, I watched him go through a walkthrough yesterday. I think that's one of the reasons why we'll see him in the shotgun a little more tonight.
A little less wear and tear. And that pass was intended for shorts. Here's how he got injured in the game against the Ravens. They actually led in this game 12-10 at halftime and lost at 20-12. Did not manage to find the end zone last week. 4 field goals for the game by Scobie. Gerhardt, 2nd and 10 carry. Pushed out of bounds by Derek Morgan after 3. So 3rd and 7 coming up.
Well, I think when you look at this Jacksonville offense, rookie offensive lineman, Jim, you got a 2nd-year left tackle, you got rookie wide receivers, and the quarterback. So what do? What they've been doing many times in games this year. Lots of screens to make it easy on everybody. A lot of bootlegs for Blake Bortles. Might not see as many tonight because of that foot. And for Tennessee, I think once they get involved in this game, I would be very surprised if they don't blitz this quarterback quite a bit. Young offensive line, young quarterback, young receivers. That's a recipe for pressure.
And again, sacked 23 times over the last 4 games. 3rd and 7. And that's going nowhere. The catch by Todman. And completely covered up by the veteran George Wilson, and a loss of 4.
Well, it just shows you, young quarterback, when you know it's a blitz, you want to go down the field because any receiver you pick out, it's a good decision. Probably the last guy you want to throw it to is the running back swinging out of the backfield. So trust that protection, give it a chance, and look down the field when they blitz you.
Now, Brian Anger, the punter, had a punt block last week. It resulted in a Ravens touchdown, but as far as average per kick, it's #1 in the AFC, over 47 yards a punt. This is Washington. And he's going to run out of room on that side with a flag. You saw that one flying across the screen. 46-yard punt.
That might have been a peel back block. He came a long way, couldn't see the number.
There is no foul for an illegal block in the back. It's deemed that a contact occurred on the shoulder. The result of the play will stand. First down, Tennessee.
That's a good decision.
Yep, Cleet Blakeman and the crew pick up the flag. That's what they were looking at. Antonio Andrews was the one blocking. On the field, they created an inseparable bond. Keenan McCardell and Jimmy Smith. A football life tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, or catch the special advance premiere tonight after the postgame only on NFL Network.
Jim, they were some duo. They were as good as it got as a pair in the NFL for many years.
In good years as this franchise got started in a hurry. Whitehurst, that pass again right on target, but Walker only had 1 foot down.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. He had 1 foot, but you said it, over the top. And yep, left foot goes out of bounds. J.T. Thomas III, the middle linebacker, all the way outside. Did it touch? Oh, just out.
Yeah, the left foot did not get down in time. So I'm sure there was close attention paid to that upstairs for the Tennessee staff, but no challenge flag is issued.
Well, Charlie Whitehurst said it right. It's a simple defense. They don't do a lot. They just try to beat you up physically, a lot like Seattle does. You get fast by doing very little on defense, and that's Jacksonville.
Tennessee takes its first timeout.
Timeout, Titans. Already with 7 on the board. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Pepsi. You can bring the ultimate halftime experience courtesy of Pepsi to your Buffalo Wild Wings. Find out more at PepsiLocalHalftime.com. And by Verizon, more live games than ever before with NFL Mobile. Off the St. Johns River, downtown skyline. It's a pretty one here. And of course, this is one of the new additions here to this stadium. These incredible video screens at each end, plus a pool.
Well, every stadium needs a pool, right?
Yeah, Phil came out here early today, folks. Swam his laps and then got prepared for the game. 2nd and 10. Knocked down. That was Colvin who blitzed from the secondary and batted down the throw. Sets up 3rd and 10.
Well, they've sit back long enough. This defense has Colvin, number 22. And what he did, he timed it perfectly. I always tell you, that's the key to blitzing, so the offense can't react. And there was nothing Charlie Whitehurst could do. This Aaron Colvin, drafted in the 4th round. This Jacksonville team had him in the Senior Bowl. He tore his ACL. A lot of people thought he was the best corner in the draft. So to get him in the 4th round, what a steal, and he's played well.
Out of Oklahoma. 3rd and 10. And that's right with the catch, and there was contact, and Colvin was the one who tapped him to get him down for a 7-yard gain. So they'll have to punt now after converting their first 3 times in 3rd down situations on that opening touchdown drive.
Kendall Wright was open. They're happy to have him back. He's the inside receiver on 3rd downs, and if Charlie Whitehurst has got that football up, he's going to catch it and be running. I mean, not far, but I think he would have picked up the 1st down.
Brett Kern is the Titans punter in his 7th year from Toledo. Ace Sanders. You see him standing back at the 10-yard line. Short boot. It's out of bounds at the 22. 37-yard punt. Bortles and the Jags will have it for the second time when we come back. Tonight's cable cam is being presented by Mazda. Blake Bortles getting set to take the snap out of the gun here at the 22. He's got Storm Johnson at running back, a rookie from his alma mater, Central Florida backfield. And that's a yard for the 7th-round pick. And how about Bortles? Boy, his travels haven't taken him too far. He's a Florida guy, just had to travel 6 miles to college. And then 142 miles up the road to Jacksonville. 3rd overall pick in the draft, first quarterback taken.
Try to change it up. They did it the first series here. Trying to go a little quicker.
2nd and 9. And this time it's the Titans defense that bats it down at the line. It looked like it might have been Sammy Hill.
Oh, it was. Penetration. That's how you get footballs knocked down. Defensive lineman pushing the offensive lineman back. It's a good job by Sammy Hill. Looked like he was going to get Zane Beadles, the left guard. Quick passes. You have to be aggressive as an offensive line. When you're aggressive, it keeps defensive linemen from raising their hands. And once again, look at this look. Everybody near the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 9. When they drafted Bortles, there was all this talk coming from the organization that he would not play his rookie year, but by week 4 he was the starter. And again, they're going to be kept short of a first down.
Well, it looks like this could be what they're going to do tonight. 3rd and long, blitz, make him throw it quick.
That was Hearns with the catch and Huff with the hit. So 2 series, 1 first down picked up by Jacksonville. And Brian Anger back out to punt.
You got to go over there and look at those cards. The protection, that's 2 times they've picked up the blitz very well. They're giving you an opportunity to throw it deep.
Anger got a lot into this one. 61-yard punt to Washington. And he is buried at the 23 by Tommy Campbell. You see Leon Washington. Well, here's Nate Washington, his teammate. And we've got him mic'd up tonight. He's got a lot to say, too.
How much you want it? How what you gonna do with it? Huh? What you gonna do with it? It's right there for the taking, Nate. What's up? You're gonna seize the opportunity, you're gonna wait till you get home and miss it. Let's go.
That's it. How about that? He's talking to himself. I love it. You know, because you know he's going to listen to himself.
Washington coming off a 100-yard performance last week against the Jets on 6 catches. This is another former Jet right here, of a former Jet, and Sean Green picking up 11. We were talking about Nate Washington, the former Steeler. Yeah, come on, Nate. Let's go. You know the opportunity is going to be there. Do you think he's going to have that opportunity tonight? He was telling himself.
Yes, I do. I think it's quite evident when you watch Jacksonville. I've already talked about it. They're not into double teaming receivers or whatever. He's going to have a lot of one-on-one chances outside. And Sean Green on that run, Jim, he's the power runner. Good job that time, turning up and get the extra yards.
They keep rotating the backfield. Sankey now flanking Whitehurst on first down. And Sankey, that didn't fool him, as Telvin Smith, the rookie from Florida State, taken in the 5th round, no gain.
Yeah, he is tall, long arms, and his greatest attribute, he can run. And that was he kept his feet right underneath him. He waited, he makes the running back make the move, and then he just goes in and attacks. And they're excited about a lot of young players in this football team, and he's one of them.
Well, they've had 70 total starts, game starts, by rookies this year. Jacksonville has. That's by far the most in the league. 2nd and 10 with about a minute to go in the first quarter. And Whitehurst is going to run with it. And he is pushed back, walloped by 3 Jacksonville defenders, including Aaron Colvin, who got to him first.
He says he's all right away, like it's no big deal. Might look rough, but it wasn't that bad. And a good decision by him. Nobody opened down the field. And
Colvin got him in the middle, and up a little higher than that, Telvin Smith.
you know, it was a good learning experience for Charlie there. You learn, you got to get down, and you said it early. He's played well when he's been in there this year. And
then Ryan Davis rolled over him, so he's got the helmet strapped back on. 3rd and 7. Chris Durham comes in as an extra receiver for the Titans. They got a flag down. They did not beat the play clock.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
You know, one thing about Charlie Whitehurst, you know, sure we've had father-son combinations in the history of this league. You can vouch for that yourself a couple of times over. But Charlie's dad was a quarterback in this league as well. He came out of Furman University. David Whitehurst, back in the late 70s, and played 6 years for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, he's a lot like his son. Pretty athletic, could throw the ball well, and I remember him in those years up in Green Bay.
His father threw for over 6,000 yards in his career, 28 touchdowns. His son, though, has staked the Titans to a 7-0 lead after one. We'll return to Jacksonville after these messages. Tennessee had the best of it in the first quarter, and Santa, good chance to have a little break in the action before a busy night, 6 nights out. 3rd and 12 coming up here for Whitehurst, and he is sacked, taken down for the 2nd time in this game. It's Chris Smith this time, the rookie from Arkansas.
Well, there's nobody open down the field. In the extra time, boy, good job coming around. But let's just look down the field, and here's why Charlie Whitehurst didn't get rid of the football. They changed up a little too deep coverage, and there's nowhere to throw it by the time the protection broke down. And you did the right thing. Sometimes a sack, that's the best play you can have.
So Kern punts again. This one he didn't catch. Low 40-yard boot. And a minimal return. So a good starting point, though, coming up for the Jags. At about the 37-yard line. Talked already about a lot of rookies that have popped up in this broadcast, like Colvin and Smith. And then Chris Smith as well, who just made that sack a moment ago.
Well, just Allen Robinson, he's injured, a receiver who was having a good year. You got 2 big-time starting offensive linemen, and Bowanko, the center, and Brandon Linder. They're excited about both of those. The 2nd pick of the draft playing left tackle, Luke Jokel, in his 2nd year. So a lot of good pieces here for Jacksonville.
And one rookie is the undrafted receiver, Kearns. As Lee, here's another rookie, was on that list you saw. 2nd rounder out of USC has the catch.
Yeah, they got to find ways. Now, you know, you got to learn the offense in the NFL, but you look at Marquise Lee, he's probably the most explosive player they have on the offensive side. Been hurt a little bit this year by his hamstring, but they're hoping he can turn into that dominant #1 receiver, which every team needs.
2nd and 5, and the ball comes out as they get to Bortles, and Bortles took a really big blow from Derek Morgan. Gerhart recovers it.
Well, this is one of his strengths. Blake Bortles, he's just so big and strong, and he is. Standing next to him on the field and watching him warm up, he's close to 6'5" and in great shape, but that is a mistake by the defensive front to not block Derek Morgan. The right side of the offensive line made a big mistake.
That's why a lot of times you hear people talk about physically, he reminds people, Bortles, of Roethlisberger with all that size and able to absorb some of that punishment. 3rd and 8. And that was thrown in the area of Gerhart. Again, it was Morgan applying the pressure. You know, this season, 10% of his dropbacks, he's been sacked this season, Bortles.
Yeah, he's got a young offensive line, but look at that list. Austin Davis really getting his first chance in the NFL. All these guys have one thing in common. They move around. And when you have a quarterback that likes to move around, they're going to take a lot of sacks, so those stats sometimes can be a little distorted.
Anger for the 3rd time to Leon Washington. Breezes by the first tackler, and with a flag on the field, he's brought down at about the 26-yard line. Tommy Campbell with another special teams tackle.
You know, you almost wonder sometimes if you said don't block anybody and let's fair catch it, if you wouldn't end up being better.
Right.
Because the number of penalties.
During the return, illegal block in the back, return team, number 28. Penalties half the distance to the goal line from the spot of the foul. First down.
2 team wins. 2 win teams. Playing with a lot of emotion. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Lexus. The Lexus December to Remember sales event is here now through January 5th. And by Pizza Hut. We're taking pizza where it's never been before. The new Flavor of Now menu at pizzahut.com. Well, the Titans took the opening drive, took over half the first quarter to do it, found the end zone. But a battle of the punters ever since that time as Sankey gets the first down carry. Sinderic Marks is mic'd up on the Jaguars side.
Let's start fast now. Let's get off the field, man. Let's get off the field. Ooh. 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 There you go, boy. There you go, boy.
He's a good player, and if you see him in on a sack tonight and he shows a little emotion, you might want to know in advance that he has a roster bonus worth $600,000 if he picks up another half a sack on the season. And there is Marks on the tackle. No bonus activated with that play, but he holds him to a gain of about 4.
Yeah, he's an excellent inside interior defensive lineman, can rush the passer, 7.5 sacks. And as I've watched these series, Jim, I kind of noticed this defensive line for Jacksonville is starting to get in the groove, and they're putting more pressure and pushing the pocket back faster as this game goes along.
Tennessee last in the league on third down conversion, 29%. 3rd and 4. Whitehurst gets some air under that one. Beautifully lofted into the hands of Leon Washington for a first down. Their 4th time converting on 3rd down tonight.
They were ready for it that time. How about that? Charlie Whitehurst relax, watch the blitzer come free, and just lays it up soft, anticipates the throw down the field, and that was perfect against the defensive lineman, Chris Smith.
You know, it's amazing how many quarterbacks who are full-time starters in this league who can't make that kind of throw like that.
Well, look, you can tell he's talented. It just never fell for him.
I picked up 25. Sidestepping a quick hit. Sankey gets ahead for a couple. If you thought your fantasy season was over, which I did after about week 3, it's not. Play for free and you could win a trip to Super Bowl 50. Join today at NFL.com/playoff challenge.
I guess Jim is back in the hunt with his fantasy team.
Like I could be.
Look at Charlie Whitehurst, a lot of green, touchdown, and showing tremendous touch with the throws tonight.
Good.
You know, sometimes you warm up as a quarterback and you know it, but you got it.
2nd and 8. Trying to get a ground game going. That has really suffered all season. Just another 3 on that carry by Sankey. So far in this game, 8 out of 10 as we documented for Whitehurst. And Bortles is 4 out of 7 for only 11 yards.
Yeah, very careful on the offensive side. And of course, I think the Tennessee Titans defense, they expected this. They knew there would be short passes, and they've attacked that so far. So Blake Bortles has got to find a way, and Jed Fish, the offensive coordinator, a way to throw that football down the field.
You saw it. They picked up 60 yards on 3rd down plays so far in this game, including a touchdown that came on 3rd down. 3rd and 5 here. Whitehurst running away from the pressure and almost able to get the connection with Durham, but it's broken up by Gratz.
Really good job by the defensive backs as Charlie Whitehurst escapes the pocket. The defenders all look up receivers, and you're the quarterback. There's nowhere to throw it, and Gratz beats the receiver to the football.
So now it's Kern's turn. to try to change field position here. A Sanders dips down for it at the 15. A good piece of tackling down the field by Stafford. See if the Jaguars offense can get something going. 7-0 Tennessee. You got a past U.S. Open champion in attendance here tonight, Jim Furyk. And of course, we're not far from the headquarters of the PGA Tour and the World Golf Hall of Fame. And in St. Augustine as well. 1st and 10 for the Jaguars, who have managed so far. We'll give them no gain here. 17 yards and 1 first down, and they've not converted on 3rd down to this point.
Well, look what they did. Just like we said, Tennessee is expecting short passes, a lot of screens, get rid of the football quick. The first down line, not even looking that way. And there's a receiver open, but don't forget, you got a rookie quarterback. He's been hit a lot. His foot hurts. He's looking to get rid of this football quickly.
Yeah, he did get hit once in this game that a lot of players may not have been able to recover from.
You're right.
Particularly with that foot injury he came into the game with. 2nd and 10, pump fake, and Bortles throws it a little too high that time for Alan Hearns. We're talking about all those rookies out of the draft class, and again, this was an undrafted rookie out of Miami who's had a pretty good season of it, Alan Hearns, but that time incomplete.
Well, let's watch Blake Bortles throw a little stop and go on the outside. And the one thing he does, just doesn't get to the target enough. And as the year has gone on, we're going to talk about this a little as the game goes. His motion has gotten longer. You know, you do that because you're getting tired. He is a rookie. It's a long year. At that time, the throw was high, and when he misses, he does miss high a lot.
Let's see if they can convert on 3rd down. 3rd and 10, and all kinds of traffic as Bortles has to take whatever he can get to return to the line of scrimmage.
Well, what did Blake Bortles say to us, Jim? He played at Central Florida. He could run around and do what he wanted. He was as big as a lot of the defensive players, but he's found out here in the NFL, everybody except maybe a defensive lineman or two can outrun you as a quarterback.
That'll go in the books as the 2nd sack for the Titans defense, and a 3rd straight 3 and out. Their only first down came on their 2nd snap of the night. That's it, 1 first down. And fair catch by Leon Washington after a 48-yard punt. Whitehurst has been sharp so far. Uh-oh, that's no way to treat a visitor. 7-0 Titans. Thing about this game tonight in Jacksonville, you win, you lose. You lose, you win, because you're tied right now, these two teams, for the worst record in the league. And of course, the tiebreaker in this case is the strength of schedule, or the weakness of your opponent's strength of schedule. If that makes any sense, Tampa right now would have the 1st position, Tampa the 2nd pick, and obviously we're going to have one of these teams pick up a 3rd win here tonight. Now, you can talk about all this, what the fan bases want you to do, but we can guarantee after talking to coaches and players,
yeah,
they don't care about any of that stuff.
Of course not. You can't look ahead like that.
Here's Whitehurst putting that one again right into the hands of Delaney Walker to midfield, and a pickup of 20.
Pretty common throw in the league now. Play action fake. It sells it. Look at the defense. They spread. Nobody in the middle. Why? The safeties go wide. The linebackers are up there trying to stop the run.
But looking at that draft list, again, Tampa in the 1st position. So both of these teams, regardless of who wins, are going to have a high pick. We're going to talk some about what perhaps they'll be looking for heading into 15.
I'm going to have a lot to say about that later.
And a first down run by Sean Green is good for 2. Let's start with Tennessee, because you got all these quarterback issues. Locker just can't stay healthy. Mettenberger they took in the 6th round. He got a bunch of starts this year, and a lot of people like what they saw. Then you got Whitehurst playing well tonight.
Well, you know, first off, Jacksonville's not going to take a quarterback. That's what it's all about. And Tennessee, I'm going to say they might not, but I'm saying they shouldn't. I think what I saw from Zach Mettenberger in the 6 games that I saw him play, and I think this coaching staff, he was impressive. He throws the football right up there with some of the best guys in this league.
2nd and 8. And that's Sean Green. But that's an interesting thing to hear you say. Mettenberger, by the way, he's out with a grade 3 sprain in his AC joint separation as well. They did not IR him because they hope by some chance that he could possibly play off the mini bye in 11 days out to get another rep, another look at him.
Well, let me just say this. Did you remember what Charlie Whitehurst was saying about Zach Mettenberger? He goes, man, he has it. He's special throwing the football. And the word he used, he goes, he could be a star how he throws the football. So for a quarterback that competes against you to say that, that's pretty impressive.
3rd and 3, and they're going to pick up another first down. And again, it's Leon Washington. So if it's not a quarterback need for the Titans, again, they could be talking about, who knows, maybe even the first pick. What kind of direction do you go?
Well, what you do, Jim, if you're lucky to get one of those picks, or I shouldn't say, however it works out, if you're not taking the quarterback, you're going to be trading because you're looking for multiple things and getting more players than just one. Because every year, there's teams always looking for that quarterback, the franchise maker. Is going to change everything, and this year will be no different.
Leon Washington, by the way, has converted 4 times on 3rd down tonight. One of them going for the game's touchdown. As Whitehurst is sacked, it's Ryan Davis giving him 6.5 sacks on the season.
Ryan Davis, coming from the outside, number 59, is one of the most productive pass rushers in the NFL. Doesn't get but a few snaps, under 20 a game. 5.5 sacks he has, Jim. Lots of pressure, and when he gets in there, he gets it done.
Now 6.5, second-year player out of Bethune-Cookman.
He's got size 6'2", about 260 pounds, and it's nice to have depth like that, especially when one of them is a pass rusher like him.
2nd and 18. And Whitehurst rolling out, now throws it incomplete. That was tossed to Derek Hagan. Josh Evans in on the coverage. Hey, just a little reminder, got some Saturday NFL action coming your way. The Eagles will be taking on the Redskins. RG3 back as a starter, of course, for the Redskins. And then San Diego and San Francisco on NFL Network and CBS. That's Saturday edition coming up in a couple of days. Both Philadelphia and San Diego, crucial games for them coming up on Saturday.
3rd long, what you want to do, make sure you don't give up an easy completion and get them in field goal range.
Now Whitehurst going to take a timeout here before that 3rd and 18 play coming up inside of 5 minutes to go in the first half.
The Jumbo hot ham and cheese from the 70s is back. Jumbo. Hot Black Forest ham and melted cheese. And it's on the Burger King 2 for $5 menu. You're yum straight. Jumbo. Only at Burger King.
Of course, Phil, we're talking about Locker on IR and Mettenberger inactive. So who is the backup tonight for the Titans? They just signed Jordan Palmer.
I saw Jordan Palmer tonight early out on the field going through the plays, trying to figure out, okay, when we call this play, I got to look over here to throw it. And he was out there, Jim, don't laugh. He was out there for about over an hour just learning the offense, going through the plays, trying to figure out if he does have to play, what to do with the football.
5 seasons in the league for Jordan Palmer. This is his 6th different team.
That'll make you nervous, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Trying to learn a playbook in 24 hours. 3rd and 18. And they go underneath to right and get in field goal range with that completion. 5 yards short of the first. But now they'll have a chance to put up 3. They'll bring out Ryan Suckup for a kick of about 50.
Yeah, here's what I'm talking. Look how deep everybody is, Jim. So they're really just going to allow you to catch the football and get enough yards to pick up the first down. They showed that before the timeout. The coach has called the right play, and it was well executed for this field goal try.
Ryan Suckup. It will be a 50-yard attempt. The former Kansas City Chief kicker. 16 out of 19 on the year with a long of 51. Turns on the hold, and the kick is long enough and good. 50-yard boot by Ryan Suckup. Titans take that timeout. They set up a play that puts them in field goal range to go up 10-0. 3 of the Titan receivers, Hagan, Washington, and Wright, as the Titans put up 142 passing yards in this game. Lead at 10-0.
Well, you know who the happiest people are here. Of course, if everybody's happy, they're up 10-0 for the Tennessee Titans, but it's the defense. The Titans defense has been on the field the second most in the NFL. So one of the reasons why they kind of fall apart as the game goes along. Just out there too much.
Yeah, well, they have been out there again too much so far in this one, as they've allowed only 1 first down. And again, Todman takes the touch back. Suckup good from 50, and how far would it have been good? 51.
51, yeah, I was, see that it just got over. Nice soft draw, really.
Looks like a little more than 51 to me.
It did. Buy lumber from that
I don't want kick tracks measuring my tee shots. Put it that way.
You want a little help,
51 might be close, by the way, these days. First and 10 as Bortles has time, straddling the line of scrimmage and throws it away. Well, let's go back to the mic'd up with Nate Washington.
Just because we scored on the first drive don't make us great. We play a full 60-minute game. I always want more. Always want more.
Oh, that's great. It's good. Pretty fired up. Veteran player.
Yeah, we always appreciate them doing that. And all those who have contributed to our mic'd up productions this year on Thursday Night Football. Second down and 10. Gerhardt slips through a tackle. We do have a flag. Might have been offsides against the Titans. And Gerhardt with a good piece of running for 15. And he again was able to break through Carl Klug's attempt at bringing him down.
Well, that's his game. Shelby Gerhardt, it's breaking tackles. He did a good job last week against the Baltimore Ravens, who one of the biggest defenses in the NFL.
Offside. Defense, number 53. That penalty's declined. The play stands, first down.
And that's their second first down of the night.
Top of the screen, Quentin Groves.
You were talking about Blake Bortles, as Gerhardt's picked up both of their first downs in this game. But Bortles, and all that he's had to go through, assimilating all this information. And he told us this week, hey, he's been throwing the football for about a year and a half. As again, it's a nice hard run by Gerhardt. That's how he used to churn out yards at Stanford. That picks up 9.
Well, he goes over the left side. Zane Beadles, Luke Jokel, and a good job. That the right guard, Brandon Linder, he's the power blocker of this offensive line. So when you pull him, he can clear the way.
Down, 0.
Second and 1. And Gerhardt tumbles, but I believe he is short. Let's see, the near side, and it may have given him the spot. That was Wilson who came up to tackle him, and it is a first down. So, hey, the Jaguars have 2 first downs on this drive after 1 for the first quarter and 10 minutes.
Well, what they've done, they get their offensive line involved, run the football, get them fired up, get them aggressive. We talked about it, Blake Bortles throwing the football for a year and a half. It's tough on a rookie this time of year.
Fakes the run this time and rolling out and looking down the field. He's got Lee. Lee tossed down as he lets Wilson know it that he's got the first down. And a flag comes down.
It's the best thing they do, the Jacksonville offense, is move the quarterback. And it's the best thing Blake Bortles does, throw on the run.
It's going to be a face mask. That's why Lee had that quick word with Wilson after the 18-yard pickup and tackle.
But he sold it deep, sent the ball to the corner, took off running.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask. Defense, number 21. The penalty's 15 yards from the end of the run. First down, Jacksonville.
Yeah, George Wilson, the safety, has his hand on the face mask. Good call. Good drive right here for this Jacksonville team. Needs confidence here before the first half ends.
2 minutes and 11 seconds to go in this half. Jacksonville with 3 timeouts. From the 23. They fake to Johnson. Bortles throws. The feet were down. And the flag is out as well. That's Clay Harbor with the catch.
That's the second back shoulder throw of the night. And that time Blake Bortles put it out of the money. Push off by Harbor.
Pass interference. Offense, number 86. 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay first down. This is the 2-minute warning.
So we reached the 2-minute warning. And just a little push. Backs up Jacksonville. Coming up, the Lexus halftime report. JB, Coach Cowher, and Neion have the highlights and analysis from the first half. Jacksonville driving for the first time tonight. First time in Tennessee territory, but backed up because of an offensive pass interference call. Their first penalty of the game. They come right back, get some of it back with Lee on the catch. And again, Jacksonville has 3 timeouts. That's a gain of 9.
Yeah, it's no hurry. Of course, you don't want to call a timeout. Situation like this, use the clock. Don't give Tennessee another chance.
Second and 11. And backing up with the catch is Mercedes Lewis. Picks up only 2. There's a timeout called by the Jags. Third down on the way. Jags managed only 16 yards and 1 first down through their first 4 drives, but now 53 yards on this drive alone. And they've got a third down coming up. You didn't like the timeout.
Well, you know, if you just needed some extra time to make this third down call, I'd understand, but not good for the clock.
3rd and 9, and Bortles decides to take off and able to keep his balance long enough for a first down. They're going to give him the spot for the first at the 13. Well done by Bortles with that foot sprain and all. I thought he was going to be stumbling and bumbling about 4 or 5 yards short.
Really good job by him knowing the situation, and a bad job by Tennessee's defensive line. You have to know, young quarterback who can run, stay in your rush lanes.
Inside of a minute to go. First down from the 13. There's Bortles. To see so shorts to third, and he's got about 9 with that one. Again, no reason to panic with the clock here. But they call a timeout at 40. They'll have 2nd and about a foot coming up. So Jacksonville has a timeout remaining. Here's the real key play, the scramble by Bortles.
Yep, exactly. And it's could turn out to be a big play if they score a touchdown to give them confidence and get them back in this game.
Quarterback has hit his last 4 throws. 2nd and 1 and rolling out. Ball is tipped. And broke up the play.
Did they have the right call on? And the answer is yes. It was a safety blitz, double safety blitz. And it could have been complete, but Morgan that time, nice job seeing it. But the defensive back closing fast underneath. I don't know if he would have got there that time to get Hearns.
Hearns he was trying to hit for a 7th touchdown of the season. If Hearns could have caught it. Now they're going to go big here in the backfield. 3rd and 1. 36 seconds. Gerhardt, the tailback, the one up top to the end zone. And it's a touchdown. Mercedes Lewis. But a flag is on the field.
Defense, number 33. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, touchdown.
Lewis able to out-battle Stafford for the football.
Offsides comes on the outside. It's a run play that's, no, it might have been a pass all the way. The offensive line, pass blocking. Perfect throw by Blake Bortles. That was a very good drive by the rookie quarterback in this Jags offense.
A young team, but Lewis has been around a long time in his 9th year out of UCLA. He's been injured for much of the year. They missed him. And he comes up with the catch right here. The rookie's 11th touchdown pass of the year, touchdown number 2 of the season for Lewis. We're back as Jacksonville just put together an impressive 80-yard drive in 11 plays. Finally got things cranking. Now, they had gone over 8 quarters without a touchdown before that drive.
Well, they did everything on that drive well. They overcame adversity with the penalty. They ran the football. The quarterback scrambled, and Blake Bortles made some nice throws to get him that touchdown. That's big confidence booster. Young football team. We've talked about it. And a lot of young guys on the offensive side.
Muscovy. Washington immediately takes the knee. 31 seconds and 1 timeout for Tennessee, which was in control for most of this first half until Bortles got the Jaguars offense moving.
Well, Jed Fish, you see him sitting next, the offensive coordinator sitting next to Blake Bortles. And look, the one thing I think Jacksonville has done very well on the offensive side this year, they realize they have young linemen. They did have 3 rookie wide receivers at one time and a rookie quarterback. Jed Fish has done a good job protecting them and making it as easy as he can in the NFL.
We'll see what they can do here on this snap as Whitehurst throws it away. Imagine 9 years in the league, and this is just his 8th start. You touched on it earlier. Here he was, a free agent, and it looked like he was going to, re-sign with San Diego, but Tennessee really pursued him.
Right.
Of course, Wisenhunt knew all about him, having been formerly the offensive coordinator there last year. And at the last minute, San Diego got into the sweepstakes, but it was too late.
Too late. It's always nice to be wanted, and he talked about it, excited about playing here tonight on national TV, and he knows, play well in these last 2 games, protect yourself on this football team, and if nothing else, you need quality backups around the league, and he's one of them.
Well, he was 11 out of 16 in that half for 142 yards and a touchdown, no picks. Jacksonville will receive the second half kickoff. Again, coming up, the Lexus halftime report. James Brown, Coach Cowher, Deion Sanders. And right now, let's go down to Tracy.
Thanks, Jim. Coach, what did you see in that touchdown drive that you'd like them continue to do in the second half?
Well, we mixed it up. Toby had a couple good runs there, and then we made plays. When our number was called, guys stepped up, just like Mercedes did in the end zone.
How do you like how Blake Bortles has been handling his injury so far in this first half?
He's done a nice job. He's playing with poise. We started off a little sluggish offensively. That's pretty obvious. But I like the energy that we used at the end of the half.
Thanks a lot.
Okay,
Jim?
Yeah, good point about Gerhardt, really kind of setting the pace for that drive with some real punishing runs that picked up a couple of first downs to get the drive started. 10-7 Tennessee at halftime. Back with the Lexus halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. And it's a 10-7 lead for Tennessee at halftime. Jacksonville will be receiving the kick here in a moment. But first, a journey to victory presented by Exxon and Mobil. Charlie Whitehurst taking the Titans down the field. The opening drive of the game, 7 minutes and 37 seconds. And Leon Washington scores on a 3rd down play. So a good first half of action. We didn't know exactly what we were in store for here tonight with a pair of 2-12 teams. It's been a good game.
Well played, really. I was impressed. They managed the game well, no big turnovers. Smart by both quarterbacks as they didn't make any errors. But the one thing I noticed, I look on the field, Jacksonville looks a little more physical. It'll be interesting to see if they can find a way to start dominating this game.
Well, the stats for Jacksonville certainly got a whole lot more favorable late in that second quarter when they put together their touchdown drive, an 80-yard drive that ended with a touchdown pass from Bortles to Mercedes Lewis. Time of possession, though, more than 2-1 Tennessee. We saw Todman in the end zone waiting for the Lions suck-up kick. Todman, a yard into the end zone, blocker in front, finds a tiny opening out to about the 28. Let's get a report from Tracy.
Well, thanks, Jim. Ken Wisenhunt told me he liked the way they started fast, just as he told me in the pregame, but he said they slowed it down because of the negative plays and they weren't able to convert 3rd and long. He did say, though, that he was very impressed with the way Charlie Whitehurst had come in and ran this offense, and he said this drive right here, the way they play defensively, will set the tone for the rest of the game. Jim?
All right, well, I'm sure after seeing his defense finally bend enough and surrender a touchdown at the end of the half, he wants to see if they can come back and reestablish the line of scrimmage here. It's Bortles, protected and dropped by Lee. Oh, at halftime, a little competition here. They had some PGA Tour pros, and there was Jim Furyk winning the competition. Pretty exciting to see him hit from the stands just a little bit closer than the rest. Harris English and Luke Guthrie and David Lingmerth from the tour, and I'll tell you, the Jacksonville mascot,
he did pretty well.
Impressive. 2nd and 10 as Gerhardt goes off the right side for a couple. By the way, Rich Eisen and Marshall Faulk also
both hit good shots.
I was nervous for them. I shouldn't have been, because they both knocked it out about 25 feet away,
well,
midfield.
We were both saying the choke factor and something like that is tremendous.
No.
And a lot of fans sitting in there, so it was a good job by both of them. Marshall Faulk hit it right over the flag, just a little too long.
3rd down here for Jacksonville.
I think Ken Wisenhunt told Tracy Wolfson exactly this game, get this first series, get back to being physical and get off the field. And here's their chance for Tennessee.
Todman, the running back. It's a blitz, it's picked up. And Bortles' throw is there for Lee, who cuts back away from the secondary. And finally, Griffin got him by the ankle. But that's a 34-yard play, the longest of the night for the Jaguars.
Well, this time, Blake Bortles does an excellent job, stands in the pocket, and Lee, that route, he came across and he got back towards the quarterback and made himself a tremendous target for Bortles to throw. All-out blitz, he stood in there and threw it down the field, which he did not do in the first half. And that drive before half gave him confidence. He's comfortable and making some good throws.
Lee's 4th catch of the night. First down from the Tennessee 35, and back shoulder, unable to hold on to it. Was Shorts, but a flag down.
Pass interference, offense, number 84, 10-yard penalty, replay, 1st down.
Well, they had one called on their tight end, offensive pass interference in the first half. Harbor, this time it's called on Cecil Shorts.
Down the sideline, going against McCourty. And that little puts his hands on him, doesn't move him, but he extends those arms. And all I can say is I know it was touchy, but so many called against defensive backs, I'm not going to complain. Cecil Shorts, last time these two teams played, they threw the football his way 16 times.
1st and 20. And that's Hearns at about the 37.
What a difference. I mean, Blake Bortles just looks more comfortable. That's 3 throws now, or he's thrown a couple down the field. Has good rhythm. The timing's there. Not a difficult defense to read. A lot of one-on-one coverage. Pick out a guy and let it go.
You can't lose your logo. Did you see that coming off the helmet?
That was some hit.
Yeah, no kidding. Second and 13. Bortles pointing downfield. Now set, throws. Got his man for another 1st down. And again, it's Hearns.
Beautiful job by Blake Bortles. When you overrush, he's going to get outside the pocket. Tried to go inside of the move. Boy, that was a nice block. That time, look at the receiver coming back. Good block by Sam Young. And, oh, you can't throw across the field when you go to your right. Whoever made that rule is wrong. When you can do it, take advantage of those opportunities. And a good job by Blake Bortles.
Picks up 15.
On the run, Blake Bortles.
Well, they're going to run it. And that's Gerhardt for 4.
I was going to say, Jim, though, on the run, he has thrown the ball well, been on target about every single time outside the pocket here tonight. And the way they finished the first half, they started again. You can feel the energy from the football team. You could tell last week when they played the Baltimore Ravens, even though the Ravens team is big and tough, Jacksonville played it to the end, and they had energy and a little slow to start tonight. Look at that formation.
2nd and 5, and look at this. Shorts is going to throw it. He's got an open man. It's Todman. Tackled down at about the 8. Shorts to Todman, and Sensabaugh prevents the touchdown.
Yeah, first off, you have to look at the formation, and that's something new. And listen, I don't think it really caught Tennessee by surprise. They were expecting trick plays. They worked on them all week, but I have not seen that one this year from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Good call by Jed Fish. That's what you do. You spice it up. You do the simple things for your quarterback, and then you do some coach 'em up plays like that throw by Cecil Short.
1st and goal at the 9.
Lucky. Up and down. Press. 380.
And it's going to be another delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Well, you know what happens? That caught him by surprise. It didn't feel like it was slow, I'm sure, to Blake Bortles. But what, you know, Jim, the pass down the field, everybody getting back together, get in the huddle, takes a little longer. That play clock pretty far up, but easy for the quarterback to see.
Now you got a goal-to-go situation from the 14. Bortles back to the end zone. Corner of the end zone, I should say, and 2nd and goal from the 14. Here's the trick play.
Yep. How far they go? How about that? The path, and that was a good job by Sensabaugh. Kind of staying and having discipline and not over chasing the throw to the outside. And good throw down the field by the wide receiver.
Yeah, it was. What was his first NFL pass attempt, by the way?
Yeah, usually in practice you throw those well, then the game starts, and you know that football feels a little different and it goes anywhere.
2nd and goal. And that should have been caught, and that's Shorts.
Well,
not exactly right on target, and the ball was wobbling a bit.
This is what, you know, you see Blake Bortles next year. These are just basic NFL plays, and you got to hit those about 98 out of 100. And the 2 that you miss have to be drops. So they've missed a couple of those tonight. He's made some good throws, most of them on the run. But those are gimmies, and I would say next year will be a great improvement in executing those plays.
Here's a 3rd and goal. Bortles keeps it. Flag out. And marked inside of the 3. Bortles ran it for 12.
Holding. Defense, number 54. The penalty is half the distance to the goal line from the end and run. 1st down, Jacksonville.
They're going to try to score with a little double move inside, and Williamson was fooled by that. He's the signal caller on the defense. So this Blake Bortles has a good smart run down the sideline, protected himself. You know, the one thing he did well in college was scramble around, and really showing his mobility here tonight.
Now they'll have a Goal to go at the 1.
Mike's 21, Mike's 21. Down! Green 80! Green is up!
Gerhardt gets the call, spins around and finds the end zone. Jacksonville takes the lead.
Tell you what, Jim, that resembled their touchdown drive before half. Some good runs, the quarterback moved. Power run, Gerhardt spins off the offensive line. Good job of being powerful up front. But overcoming adversity in that penalty once again. Same penalty both times. Pass interference on the offense. Still made the plays and
overcame them both and still ended up with touchdowns. Back-to-back drives. Play ruled dead before the kick.
Tennessee's
Michael
in for
Griffin was running across.
Neutral zone infraction, defense number 33. That penalty will be assessed 5 yards on the kickoff.
Yeah, that drive. The Jaguars overcame a 3rd and 7, a 1st and 20, a 3rd and goal on the 14. All of those.
Tennessee hearing for a fight. They better get on it. Jacksonville's hot.
Back-to-back 80-yard drives. This one with a little trickery. And Jacksonville, after spotting Tennessee the first 10, now leads at 14-10. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. And by Papa John's, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. Never thought I'd see a pool at a football game, but that's what they've been doing as of this year in Jacksonville. And this play helped set things up for Jacksonville's trip to the end zone. By the way, Cecil Shorts III was a high school quarterback.
There you go.
Yeah, at Collinwood High School in Ohio, where he was all district, playing for his father, Cecil Shorts Jr. And then he went on to Mount Union, here Garcon's alma mater, and started there as a quarterback. Eventually moved to wide receiver, and he broke the Garcon school records for career receiving yards. Neion Washington takes the touch back. Now let's see how Tennessee responds. Down for the first time tonight. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, and Tracy Wolfson back here in Jacksonville.
Well, you know, Tracy's always telling us how hard she works on the sideline. She moves around. She's always digging for information and injuries, and we're going to find out here later how much work she's doing.
Yeah, we actually have her wired with all that technology for those next-gen stats. We'll see how much she's been moving up and down the sidelines as Sankey has just a gain of 2. So here we go. Let's check in. This is Tracy at the bottom of the screen. Let's check out the vital information here.
I like it. Over 2,000 yards.
2,097 yards.
But look next to Nate Washington.
What about it, Tracy?
I'm feeling great.
There you go.
This is my exercise. I don't have to go to the gym. But I do. I have the tracking device right in here. You see underneath my jacket, just like every player has on their shoulder pads. And I'll tell you, this is great. I can run all day, and then maybe I'll go up there and jump in the pool.
There you go. Don't know what that would do to those sensory devices underwater.
Well, let's see here as you look at this game. Jacksonville's kind of got it going, and physically they've been winning the battle on both sides of the ball. Big third down here.
3rd and 4. And the Titans pick up a much needed first down with Hagan on the receiving end of an 8-yard throw.
Really good job that time by Charlie Whitehurst. He hangs in there and he knows he has that coverage outside and he anticipates and throws it soft so Hagan can make that catch. That's Demetrius McCray covering him, and they have high hopes for McCray, hoping he'll turn into one of those corners that can just go out there outside and take whoever lines up and play him one-on-one. He's played the best so far this year in the NFL and has held up pretty well.
First down run with Sankey. Able to keep his balance for about 8. Tomorrow on NFL Total Access, one-on-one with Patrick Peterson as the Cardinals prepare for Sunday's first play showdown with the Seahawks. NFL Total Access tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, live on NFL Network.
I think it's safe to say, Jim, if you had to pick out which game this weekend is going to be the most physical one, I think it's an easy one. I think it's Seattle at Arizona.
And of course, we're going to be in Dallas for the Cowboys hosting of the Indianapolis Colts. 2nd and 3, and Sankey has the first down. So big conversion on that 3rd and 8 when Whitehurst went to Hagan, an 8-year veteran who Whitehurst told us this week when we met with him that Hagan's a veteran you can trust. And here was a Titan team that had gone flat, and they needed a spark. They needed a first down. They needed to keep their defense on the sideline for a while. And Whitehurst to Hagan is what really sparked this drive that's now resulted in yet a 2nd first down.
Yeah, they did need it. All the momentum, the energy was on Jacksonville's side, and now they can settle this game back down again.
Sean Green for no gain. Talking about all these games this weekend and that crucial game with Seattle at Arizona. Ryan Lindley again will be starting at quarterback.
You know, everybody, it's hard to make out what's going to happen. You could be a 1 or 2 seed or fall, maybe not even make the playoffs. It's that many scenarios and so many teams putting up good records this year.
2nd and 10. Open and on the money with Washington. Talking physical matchups, there's going to be a Denver at Cincinnati game on Monday night. It's going to be a physical one as well, and very important because that AFC North, you know, Pittsburgh hosting Kansas City, that's another good one.
Well, 3rd and short here. You could run it, and if you don't make it, you can go for it on 4th down.
Neion Washington, the running back, and the ball carrier, and taken down for a loss of 1.
Unless you lose yards.
Telvin Smith, we talked about him in the first half, and the rookie with another important stop, this time behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he's a multiple player, number 50 in the middle. And what I mean by that, fast enough where he can cover, run down the field, go sideline to sideline, and smart enough to make tackles inside. And yes, it's 4th down here, and I agree with this. You got to punt it. It was under 1 yard, which I thought it might be after the run. You go for it.
But 4th and 3 is actually what this occasion is. And they do what they had hoped to do. Pin Jacksonville inside the 10. Sanders with the fair catch. 14-10, last 14 on to the Jaguars.
Folks, the final edition of the season of Phil's 5, and the subject matter this time, top rookie quarterbacks you've seen this year.
Well, Johnny Manziel got in last week, wasn't good. Zach Mettenberger, I was very impressed with his stint. Blake Bortles, a lot of play, showing some good stuff here tonight. Teddy Bridgewater being managed great by the Vikings, and you got to give it to Derek Carr. Played all year long, had many tough scenarios, but he's hung in there, and his performance has gotten much better over the last month of the season.
Here's Gerhardt to start the drive. Pick up about 3. It looked like he might have lost a yard, but he fought for the yardage. Here's what Bortles has done recently on 3rd down in this game.
Well, let's look at the first half, Jim. He has an opportunity to go down the field, but he chooses the underneath route. And the exact same play, a little different formation. And what does he do? He takes advantage of the one-on-one opportunity down the field. And hey, that's a young quarterback. That's good coaching. You see those pictures on the sideline. They made the adjustment, and they made a play that led them to a touchdown.
2nd and 7, and they get to Bortles. It's Wesley Woodyard, the former Bronco captain.
I don't know what happened there. It seemed like a big mix-up what to do. It looked like Blake Bortles wants to get rid of the football quick over the middle, but there's nobody there. And they blow the blocking assignments. Well, let's see what happens. Well, shoot, they don't even block him. That's 2 times tonight. They have had an unblocked rusher come at him and get the hit.
That's their 3rd sack of Bortles. Again, they got to him 6 times in their first matchup. Standing on the goal line, Bortles feels the pressure, finds all kinds of open room for the first down and a whole lot more. Getting out of that jam and picking up the first down at the 26.
Well, it's just a tremendous mistake by the defensive line. You overcommit. Boy, what a job stepping up and then coming out. Knowing the situation backed up, that's a big scramble. Field position, time, everything. And we talked about Tennessee's defense, how much they stay on the field. 2nd most in the NFL. That's one of the reasons why.
First down carry this time by Storm Johnson. He's got 2. Sunday on NFL Game Day morning, the incredible story of an NFL star who gave up his career to save his brother's life. NFL Game Day morning, Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern, live on NFL Network. We were talking about all this speculation in the first half about Tennessee come draft time. Who knows? But, you know, Jacksonville went out and picked up Bortles with the 3rd pick this year overall. Want to get your handle on what their strategy might be. Dave Caldwell, their general manager.
Delta.
From the next draft, 2nd and 8. And he's trying to find Shorts. No flag. Jacksonville's going to be drafting with a top 10 pick for the 8th consecutive year. What do you think they're going to do?
Well, there's a lot of things they can do. First off, let's remember they got a lot of young players. They need some seasoned veterans who can make a difference at wide receiver, but they need speed in the secondary. At safety, maybe a little more help there. They need a wide receiver, and of course, Jim, you're always looking for that one outside guy who can pressure the quarterback. I think those are their 3 biggest needs as you look at this team. But they got to get some proven veterans in here to help these rookies out.
3rd and 8. Incomplete. Again, back in the direction of Shorts.
Well, let's. So, you know, look at what they've done in these wide receivers here. They missed on those guys.
Yeah, 4 times they went first round with these wideouts that did not materialize.
But now they got Allen Hurns, who came from the University of Miami, Marquise Lee, and Allen Robinson, who's hurt, who was having a really, really good year before he got injured.
Sneaking up to Field Angers punt. It's Washington. And once again, he has a meeting with Tommy Campbell on the tackle. 43-yard punt. Whitehurst coming onto the field, down 4. Tonight's cable cam is being presented by Mazda. The Titans have lost their last 8 games. The last win came against Jacksonville on October the 12th, a game that came down to the final seconds. Here's Whitehurst, that got off to a really hot start. Not that he's fallen off. It's 7 out of 12 since that time. It's the best starting point on a drive tonight for the Titans. And they're going to pick up yardage here with Sankey in the flat for 9. Let's check in with Nate Washington. He's had a lot to say tonight, trying to pump up his teammates.
All right, we got to go, man. We got to put points up. It's not acceptable. Accept the challenge. Accept the challenge. Keep making our plays, fellas.
Very vocal part of that offense is Nate Washington. 2 catches though for the game tonight, 18 yards. 2nd and 1. And they got the first down with Sankey.
Well, it was good running by Sankey to make that quick decision and go off tackle. Well, that's the one thing about Jacksonville. They played the situations. They had everybody up there crowded, Jim, to stop this first down. He's going to cut it in there and says, nope, better not. Derek Marks once again in the backfield.
Who would have believed after Tennessee opened this season at Kansas City, went into Arrowhead and won? It was not a nail biter either, that there would only be one win after that. And again, that was against Jacksonville.
Expectations went high after that victory. I know that.
Yeah, well, this one's coming down to the 4th quarter. 14-10. Jaguars lead it. We'll return after these messages. Final 15 coming up here in Jacksonville at Everbank Field, which opened back in 1995 on the side of the old Gator Bowl. And this was the host stadium for Super Bowl 39 when the Patriots beat Philadelphia to take the Lombardi Trophy. Site of the annual Georgia-Florida game. 1st and 10 for the Titans. Trying to put together a drive here, pick up 2 after about 48. Let's go down to Tracy.
Well, thanks, guys. You saw Storm Johnson moving the ball for the Jacksonville Jaguars on that last drive. Well, right now, Toby Gerhart is on the sideline with a rib contusion, and that's why he wasn't on in that last drive. His return is questionable.
All right, Toby Gerhart with 9 carries for 42 yards and a touchdown. Really got that first touchdown drive going with some nice first down carries, and that pass dangerously over the head of Sankey, and a miscommunication.
Well, timing was terrible. Defense was all over it. There's just nowhere to go with it. Look at the yards. Tennessee was moving at will in the first quarter, and since Jacksonville's defense has kind of gotten the rhythm, the play calls, their defensive calls have been on the mark, and Jacksonville's offense, how about that?
You knew Charlie Whitehurst, after we talked to him, was going to play fearlessly tonight. How many times did he say to us, we have nothing to lose? Going to throw it around. Our guys are loose. Well, they jumped out 10-0. Now 14-10 down. And trying to accept this challenge of regaining the momentum. Timeout call by Tennessee.
Right, snap. Timeout, Tennessee.
You know, we were talking about the last win for the Titans came in this affair back week 6. That was Bortles to Harbert, and then Jacksonville recovered an onside kick. Leroy Reynolds recovered it. This was for the win. Scobie from 55 had the field goal attempt that would have won it blocked. It was blocked by Sammy Hill.
Yep, last win, week 6. You see that there. You know, you talk about what Charlie Whitehurst said. And of course, you always have something to lose. You know, losing hurts no matter what. But what he means is we have nothing to lose. Play free. Don't play scared, worried about making mistakes. And you got to find out where that line is where you can be almost out of control and still get done what you're trying to do on the offensive side.
3rd down. They took a timeout. Make sure he had the right play. And passes behind Kendall Wright.
Well, didn't get his feet set, moving as he's trying to throw it, and Kendall Wright is going nowhere anyway. As he comes across, look at the defenders who are going to react, come up, and make the tackle before he can pick up the first down. A little pressure made Charlie Whitehurst move, and that way he's not able to look down the field to pick up the first down.
Here's Kern. Like to pin him inside the 10. He's got a chance to do that, but the bounce doesn't go his way. So just a net of 31. 1 minute into the 4th. Jacksonville leads it. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by GMC. Vote for the Never Say Never moment of the week. Maybe the moment of the week in sports broadcasting happened a couple of nights ago in New York. Show us Ken Agard here. This
Ken
is our
Agard
whole
right
team.
here. He's still smiling, and rightly
the
so.
Sports Broadcasting Hall of Fame. And what a remarkable career it's been. You saw our whole team starting from our Chairman Sean McManus on down. We have absolutely relished this chance to present Thursday Night Football from CBS through September and October, and then teaming up with the great teammates that we have discovered and enjoyed this year from NFL Network. Second and 10 here for the Jags.
Like 24, hey, let's go, relax. Hey, Rex. Hey, Delta.
There's Bortles trying to find Hearns. You know, when this franchise started with Brunell, Fred Taylor, McCardell, and Jimmy Smith, they had all those teams going on with Tom Coughlin directing them to the playoffs 4 times. And, of course, in '99, they made it all the way to the AFC Championship game hosted here as the 1 seed. Tennessee beat them. There's Mark Brunell, a long career. He started, well, didn't exactly started here after a brief stay up in Green Bay, but did magical things.
They're down. They've been good at picking up blitzes, Jim.
Here they come after him, and again, Morgan is on him.
Well, that wasn't any blitz. That time it was just a good job by Morgan getting around the right tackle. Sam Young on the outside gets the jump. Timed it perfectly. You could see him looking inside, and as soon as that center flinched, he took off.
That is the 66th time this season that the Jacksonville quarterbacks have been dropped. That is a new Jacksonville franchise mark. Not one they wanted to set. Washington comes over to the 44. And again, excellent starting point. Best of the night for the Titans coming up. Thursday Night Football brought to you by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. And by Macy's. Main Street Bridge across the St. Johns River, a river that flows to the north. And discovered tonight by Floridian Mike Holbert, providing some of the local nuggets for this broadcast. 1st and 10. Titans couldn't ask for a much better starting point based on what we've seen tonight with this field position battle between the two punters. Gain 7.
One guy's playing very well for this Jacksonville defense, and Derek Marks. And when you run away from him, he can absolutely fly down the line and make the block. Splits the double team. Helps the defense get the tackle. Here it is again. You go away from him. Avoids the cut block. Terrific year. Good gain here tonight.
2nd and 3. And they pick up what looks like the 1st down. Right on the mark.
You know, as I watch this is kind of this drive where you always have plays that you haven't called yet tonight that you hope to catch the defense by surprise. And this is a drive where you take advantage of that. Good field position. Looks like you might get the first down here.
Looks like they might call for a measurement. They are going to, in fact, measure here for it.
Yeah, the official marker in front of Jacksonville's bench.
How about Jacksonville coming into this game tonight as a favorite in a game for the first time in 43 games?
That says it all, really.
Yeah.
Not that we're looking at point spreads. It just tells you they're not winning, what people think of them. And it's been a rough spell. Gus Bradley, you know, talking to him the last couple of days, He says this football team, the young talent is there, but it's a race against time. He's got young guys who got to mature quickly, and then he's got to find the right veterans to help him do that.
First down, they are only getting back to the line of scrimmage with Sean Green. And Saturday, a couple of important games coming up. NFL Network has the Eagles against the Redskins. Eagles in a battle for a playoff berth, and they need to win there. Chargers against the 49ers, same thing. San Diego needs to keep its hopes alive. NFL Network and CBS have the action of that one. You're talking about Coach Bradley. He definitely has a plan here. 2nd and 11, and that's Walker. Tripped up about 2 yards short of the first by Colvin. But Gus Bradley, of course, coming by way of Seattle, where he had tremendous respect for Pete Carroll. He had been on the previous staff there with Jim Moore Jr. Carroll kept not only Gus Bradley, but Dan Quinn as well. He got the exposure of seeing Russell Wilson as a rookie quarterback.
Right.
Brought a lot of things of good experiences to Jacksonville.
Well, I think they're really happy, I've said it many times, about the way the team practices and works and plays hard. But next year will be the time to start stringing some victories together.
3rd and 2, little wiggle by Washington, unable to find any opening, and now a big decision coming up for the Titans with 10 minutes to go.
I think this is a spot you got to go for it here. They played it safe earlier. At least they didn't lose yards that time. It looks like they are going to. And Ken Wisenhunt calling the plays. I would think they'll try to throw it. It's a long one, or a short 2, or a very long 1.
We're going to go from the gun here.
And they're going to press them here, Jacksonville, so they're going to try to stop the short throws.
From the 39, 4th and 2, and Whitehurst unloads it. Catch is made, but where will they spot it for Durham? He came back to catch it. He's going to be short of the first.
Well, they ran a play. Everybody was going short, and the defense played for the short throw, and they covered everybody.
Do you agree with the spot here, Phil?
Yes, I do. I thought he was short all the way.
Titans turn it over on downs with 9:24 left. Chris Clemens was shaken up, but he was able to jog off the field looking just fine. He got a hit on Whitehurst after the throw. And he forced Whitehurst to have to get rid of it. And again, the Titans come up a yard short on 4th and 2. First down for Jacksonville, and Todman is running free to the 30, to the 20, and it's touchdown Jacksonville. "62 yards for Jordan Todman."
Well, the worst run defense in the NFL. They're up to the line of scrimmage trying to put pressure, and they did a great job faking the reverse. They kept the outside pressure away, and Jordan Todman, the speed back. Boy, he showed that speed off that time, and good play call, good disguise, and of course, good running.
The second-year running back out of UConn, who Jacksonville signed off of Minnesota's practice squad a couple of years ago. He has just delivered the longest running play of the season for the Jaguars. Well, that run by Jordan Todman not only was the longest run of the season by Jacksonville, it's actually the longest run for the franchise since 2010, when Rashad Jennings broke one for 74 against Oakland. He gets rewarded, by the way, by staying on the kick coverage team.
Shoot, he doesn't mind after that. He's excited. He wants to do a little more sprinting.
21 unanswered here by Jacksonville. And Tennessee has been buckled down for most of the night, but last in the league against the rush. And here are some of the things that went against them this year. McCoy, 53-yard run. Andre Williams broke a long one. And how far did Jordan Todman take this one in all?
Well, let's see. I know this. Tennessee was chasing the reverse guy. The discipline was not there. 83 yards when he crossed the goal line.
Yeah, officially 62. Got to take a little peek at this wonderful video board in the end zone. One of the best in the league to see that he was running free. Here's Whitehurst down the field and able to pick up the big gain with Kendall Wright.
Well, they did what they've done a couple times here tonight. Whitehurst knows the coverage. Safety's in the middle. It's easy to throw it down to the inside seam. Boy, that was beautiful touch on that throw. Jim, that's about 3 times tonight. He has dropped it right in there.
And Wright was shaken up. Remember, he came in here already with a hand injury. 39-yard play, Tennessee's longest of the night. They back it up with another hookup and another injury to a wideout. Derek Hagan for 19.
Took that shot in the back. Safeties were back, so you have to throw it underneath.
Titans covered 58 yards in these back-to-back plays.
Well, it was tight coverage the first time. Soft zone the second. That hit.
Tell you, Kendall Wright, he knows they need him. They had just signed Rico Richardson, and he's out here for this play. Just brought up off the practice squad, number 83 at the top. First down, Whitehurst 3 for 3. For now 68 yards. And again, all these injuries. Look at the IR list for this team.
Well, here's 3 starting linemen right here.
No
so
kidding.
that away, that can destroy your football team.
Hunter, a big deep threat.
Deep threat, yes. And you know, and the quarterbacks, it's when you're bringing in a new system, a new coaching staff, and you're constantly shifting players. Of course, that's just so disruptive to what you're trying to do. It's hurt them tremendously.
Kendall Wright back on the field. Slot right, 2nd and 1. And a first down at the 7, maybe the 8. That's Leon Washington.
I'll tell you what, nice play by the quarterback and him, but that was a very good job by Smith, the linebacker, not being fooled and being in position, because it was one-on-one. If he doesn't make the tackle, it's a walk into the end zone.
All of the sudden, after Jordan Todman looked like the second coming of Fred Taylor on one run.
Well, yeah, what happened is the first play changed the defense.
Right.
They took advantage of the long throw, so the defense got scared. They backed off. Pass protection usually gets better as the game goes along.
First and goal, Whitehurst over the top of Washington.
And I say pass protection gets better as the game goes along, Jim, because offensive linemen get in rhythm. They know all the moves. They've seen them from the defensive linemen. But most of all, defensive linemen get tired in the 4th quarter. And you throw 4 or 5 passes in a row, it's hard to get the energy to keep chasing that quarterback.
And just projecting a bit, if the Titans do score a touchdown, you have to think they go for 2. Down 11 at the moment. Second and goal. And that's only going to be a gain of 2 to Washington. 3rd and goal coming up. And again, if they had to, after racing down the field, settle for a field goal, it would bring it back to a 1-score game.
Yeah, they got to kick the field goal here unless they get it inside the 1 or somewhere where they know they can have a high probability of scoring. Jacksonville's going to play coverage and not blitz.
Whitehurst in zone, knocked away. Looked like it hit Delaney Walker's hand.
I'm not sure who he's thrown it to. He could have thrown this to Delaney Walker inside and just stuck it in there. Watch this right there. He's open.
But then Durham's in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, I think it got away from Charlie Whitehurst. The ball didn't come out clean. Looked like people in front of him. The release was high. and he missed it.
Yeah, it went off of Walker's hands, and then Cyprian made sure it did not finish in the hands of Chris Durham. So they do have to resort to the field goal from 23 yards out. And Suckup puts the 3 on the board. 21-13. 6 minutes to go. NFL Network Saturday, the run to the playoffs heats up. A crucial doubleheader. NFL Network has it covered all day. First, a special NFL AM, followed by NFL Total Access kickoff, leading up to Eagles Redskins live on NFL Network, followed by Chargers Niners on NFL Network and CBS on Saturday. The returner is Todman. And no chance to return.
Well, Jim, we've talked about it tonight. I want to show you some things that I noticed when I watched Blake Bortles throw the football. They want to work on his motion during the offseason. Watch his back foot. It's not underneath his body. He separates his hands, doesn't get the turn. And now, because of that, he doesn't use his body. So when you don't use your body, it makes it an arm throw. You're not going to be as accurate. It's going to put more stress on your arm, and the football's not going to spin as much. When it spins, it's much easier to catch.
He's got the football, and he slides for 6. How hard is it to put those kind of changes into a quarterback who has all that muscle memory and conditioning?
Man, you can definitely do it during an off season. The thing that's going to hurt him, that you can't come to work with the coaches until the middle of April. But it won't take much. Keep those hands on the football, learn a few little fundamentals, and it will change his throws dramatically. Some of these easy throws we've seen him miss tonight, he will knock those dead next year and not miss them, which will be a big part of this offense and helping him.
2nd and 4. And there's the throw over the head of Todman. And just like that, that stops the clock at 5:26. And it's 3rd and 4.
Yeah, big down for Tennessee. Now, I will say this. Tennessee came in tonight thinking we are going to blitz the young quarterback, young wide receivers, and they have done that. But they are not getting through the pickup by the Jaguars. So they're ready for these blitzes, and they've been protecting Bortles very well. It's going to be a little different here. Nobody back in that backfield to help him out if somebody blitzes. George Wilson.
There's the throw for the first down to Shorts. So they blitz, and Bortles knew it, got rid of it in a hurry, knew there was going to be an open man. Cecil Shorts for the first down.
Well, yeah, you play off too far. He didn't know who to. You could, the slot receiver, McCourty. Time he gets in good position, it's short, and these are just automatics in the NFL. And he puts it right on the money. And you're going to blitz. It's 3rd and 4 late in the game. You got to get close to the receivers and make them go down the field.
Inside of 5 minutes, Titans have 2 timeouts. Gerhardt has returned to the field and is called on.
Well, let me talk about other rookie quarterback, Zach Mettenberger, Jim, just to show his throwing motion real quick and show you why I think he has a chance to maybe be their quarterback. Foot's underneath him, shoulders in great position, compact motion, uncoils the body and really spins the ball hard, throws it hard, and allows receivers to catch it, make a move, and get those extra yards. So, listen, I watched all of his games. Yes, I know the circumstances and things that people don't like about him, but the throwing part, it is top notch.
2nd and 7. Gerhardt for the first down.
How about this for a young offense coming out here in the interior line? 65 Linder once again, blocking maybe one of the toughest inside guys in the NFL in Jarrell Casey, and holds him just enough to get it done. That was Zane Beadles on Casey. I thought it was on the other side.
Rush yards on the season, 95 average. Tonight, 163. Of course, 62 of it coming on the run by Todman, who's the tailback for this first down play.
Hey, Delta.
If you're Tennessee, there it is. I was going to say, you got to call a timeout. Ken Wisenhunt does right away. And in the second half, you know, Jim, they wasted that one timeout. Didn't talk about it at the time, but we talk about it every single week. In the second half, unless it's a really important situation, you've got to protect those timeouts. And it's amazing how often they come back and become part of the outcome of the game.
Yep, can only stop it one more time. How about this twin bill coming up on Saturday? The Eagles and the Redskins. Followed by, that's on NFL Network, San Diego, San Francisco, NFL Network, and CBS for that one. And on Sunday, we will be with the national doubleheader game on CBS with Indianapolis at Dallas.
Couple tight ends to the right. Should be a run, in my opinion.
2nd and 10. Could have stopped it for no gain, but Todman broke away from Michael Griffin. And now they're not going to take this other timeout.
No, he's playing the clock, and I like this. Now he's going to put a little pressure on this Jacksonville offense. Still has one timeout. Kind of forces them to throw the football. Now they're going to throw it, so you know that. The big thing is for Tennessee's defense, you must get close to these receivers, because these situations, Jacksonville shows a high tendency to throw it to the first down yardage.
So Whitehurst begging to just get a chance. Bortles gets rid of it to Lee, incomplete. And a flag comes in, and it's going to be against Tennessee.
Double safety blitz.
Pass interference. Defense, number 24. The ball he placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Called on Sensabaugh.
And, you know, I didn't see anything. I saw it live. I thought it was well played. Well, he put that arm in, so maybe you can say an arm guard, but that's a tough call that goes against your defense in that situation. I would not have thrown the flag.
Bortles on the bootleg. Bortles takes off for about 5. Stays in bounds. And now the last timeout utilized by Tennessee. Mazda post-game show coming up. Rich Eisen and the guys wrap up tonight's game with highlights and analysis only on NFL Network. Bortles, the second leading rusher on this team, and he's had some couple of nice scrambles tonight. He's got 50 yards rushing in this one.
Yeah, it's for a guy that had a hurt foot and was questionable. And, you know, I watched him warm up before the game. I wasn't sure he was going to be able to go, but then I went down and watched him warm up for real, and he looked pretty dang good. And those 50 yards, this has been a good game by Blake Bortles here tonight.
No doubt they'll run it here down to the 2-minute warning. This drive's lasted almost 4 minutes. Tennessee's got a chance to drop him for a loss, but Todman's able to take it ahead for 2. And the 2-minute warning has arrived. Third down coming up out of the 2-minute warning. Will Tennessee have a chance to get the ball back? Third and 4 is coming up for Jacksonville. Pick up a first down. They would then clinch the game and a 3rd win of the season. Already on this drive that's lasted over 4 minutes, they've converted on a 3rd down on a pass play to Shorts, and they got that 3rd down penalty. Good interference call to move the chains as well.
Good faking by Bortles, but it's got to be a run. Running back is close.
It's Todman, and he's short, even though he skidded for an extra yard. It's 4th and 1.
You see all that, Jim? He was up there looking, oh, here's the mic, and they got a formation. And it was a lot of good body language, but almost picked it up, and there is no question. Oh, the crowd now. Crowd yells at everything, so don't listen. Of course you can't go for it. When you go for it in a situation like this, your owner's going to come down after the game and go, what were you thinking?
Remember, Angers had 2 punts blocked this year, including one last week. They may take the penalty here. Nope, they're going to go ahead and snap it back. Neion Washington is the returner, and he races away from it into the end zone. It's not what they wanted.
Well, not surprised it bounced into the end zone. We walked on the field before the game, and that is one fast track. Short grass, hard. So when that football hits, hard to back it up like we see so many times on artificial fields and grass fields.
Net of 17 on the exchange. So Whitehurst needs to go 80 yards in 1 minute and 7 seconds with no timeouts, find the end zone, and then finish it off with a 2-point conversion.
Well, they're going to play back. Sorry, Jim, I mean to talk, but they're going to play back and play safe. So there's going to be some areas in the middle of the field to throw this football into.
It's Whitehurst. He's looking at loading it up now. He finds the open man who secures it at the 40. A catch made there by Hagan for 20.
Good. They didn't change the formation. Wide receivers line up where they were. I'd run the same play again. It'll be open.
45 seconds. Whitehurst. Underneath he goes. And Leon Washington tries to split the defenders and
spike the football right now. Don't try to run a play, and it looks like that's what he's going to do. Well done.
31 seconds.
So we said the middle's open. If he could take one more shot and get 15 or 20 yards in the middle of the field, then you spike it, and then you'll have some chances to maybe try something long outside with the defense they're playing.
A foot away from a first down, 50 yards away from really making things interesting. Going to pick up the first and head to the sidelines. Washington reaches for it, and he gets to the sideline to stop the clock at 24 seconds.
What a job by Leon Washington.
Jarrell Casey encouraging that offense. Come on, guys, let's go.
They have no hurry here. Let everybody get their breath.
Yep. Washington did a good job to get out of bounds and fight off a defender. Whitehurst wanting to load it up down the sidelines. Catch is made. What about the feet? Nope, Hagan was out.
That's what you wanted. I thought he might try that. Down the field, the sideline between, oh my gosh, he just backs up. He should have stayed in. He could have. Really good job by Charlie Whitehurst moving in the pocket and seeing that and making that throw. Boy, that was just a mistake by Hagan.
17 seconds left. No timeouts. Whitehurst on the run. Looking. Going to take off and take what he can get with 9. Make it 8 seconds to go.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe one more quick play, then throw it in the end zone, but you can't even take that chance. This is where you got to line them up, Jim, and get them to the end zone and hope for a tip pass.
Look at the Jaguars put 4 defenders on the goal line.
Well, they're doing that, but it looks like they're going to only rush 3 people. So Charlie Whitehurst gauge the rush, move around and get extra time to let your guys get there.
Here they come. Whitehurst can't escape it. Jacksonville's going to take it. And look who gets the sack. It's Marks who gets the sack. that's worth $600,000.
Yeah, he was saying, show me the money in a three-man rush.
What a time to get it to clinch
awesome.
the game.
Chris Clemens made Whitehurst move, and Derek Marks got the sack.
It activates a season-long contract bonus for sacks. And the former Titan Marks makes the play to end the game.
This pressure makes him step up.
It really was. It was Clemens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Show me. Well, he knows that sign. We've seen that before, but he played very, very well tonight. Deserved that sack, and Blake Bortles, he also played very well. It's a high-spirited effort by Jacksonville. They've been doing this all year long, and finally they got rewarded with a victory.
Well, things turned around very late in the second quarter when they put together an 80-yard drive and then came out to start the second half with another one. Charlie Whitehurst walks off the field with 287 yards passing, turnover free. He played well.
Yes, he did.
Coming up, the Mazda postgame show with Rich Eisen and the guys. Wrap up tonight's game with all the highlights and analysis on NFL Network. Wow. Wish we had a lot of games like this year.
I told you this game was going to be good. Fun to watch, a lot of fun to do.
21-13 is the final. Jacksonville, the victor. Again, coming up is the Mazda postgame show for Phil and Tracy. This is Jim Nance saying so long from Jacksonville. You've been watching Thursday Night Football. Thanks for being with us all season long.